Expand.
Now, because we want to make sure that if you have
Is that in your
to
way?
say one about the budget that we presented to you all, you can possibly answer with the presentation. We're gonna do, at this time right now, we're gonna start public comment for the tentative, other year for road and bridge fund. And I would just like to remind everyone that public comment is available at each hearing, so you will have this hearing, the next hearing, as well as on the agenda for special board meetings. Comments should be made addressing the budget that's being discussed, and that public comment will also be available at the special meeting. You get 3 minutes each, and per ordinance, 30 minutes time on total for public comment. So first we have, what's that name? Pat. Next we have Wendy Kelly Coleman.
Thank you. Hi. First, let me thank everybody I'd like to thank the board, the administration for adhering to the statutes and giving us sufficient time to review. That wasn't done in the past, so that's great. Regarding the road and bridges fund, I see that we got grant 500,000, but I also see that we have a couple of big expenditures, right, for 500,000 and 200,000 respectively. 500,000 and 200,000. Questions answered is what are, that big increase in the, like I said, we got the grant, it's great, and what are we spending that on? What does that go to above and beyond what already, has been done?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's my own.
Thank you. Now we have Barnes Watts.
Good afternoon. My first question is, in the actual line item, there's like a dash there. Is that money that's not accounted for, or is that new line items? Because what I've totaled from those columns that didn't have anything in it was $366,000. Is that new money, or is that money that's unaccounted for?
Clarification, Mr. Watts. You said in the actual line or the budget?
No, the actual line.
The actual line, the
Yes.
total is, you saying that it's 366,000?
Well, from the, when you calculate it from the budget that has an amount. So I was wondering, the question was, in the actual items that has a zero in it, is that something that's unaccounted for from the audit, or is that something new?
Thank you. Next, we have Paul Roberts.
Good afternoon. I could ask several questions about particular line items within the road and bridge fund budget, such as why does it cost twice as much to maintain your own building this year compared to last year? Or why do you want to spend 2.43 times as much on personnel this year? But instead, I want to ask a fundamental question. Why should Thornton Township's road and bridge department even exist? Its stated purpose is to maintain roads and bridges in unincorporated portions of the township, which are mostly between Lansing and Thornton, with a small area between Calumet City and Dalton. Isn't all the unincorporated land in Thornton Township maintained by the Cook County Forest Preserves? Anyway, the previous highway commissioner met me by chance over a year ago at Kurt's Barbecue. While we were waiting for our orders, he decided to tell me about his job, explaining that the township maintains only 9.5 miles of road and 1 bridge, all of which are within the boundaries of one of the 17 villages or cities. He said that the township maintains them as a favor to those villages who couldn't otherwise afford to maintain them. Now, I'm okay with the township doing occasional favors for the 17 municipalities, but I have to ask, at what cost? This department's overhead costs seem excessive. This year's budget requests over $500,000 for personnel and office expenses to maintain that single bridge at 9.5 miles of road. Personnel and administrative expenses make up 42.6% of the entire budget if we get that grant. If the hope for grant for blacktopping fails to materialize again this year, the $563,250 requested for personnel and administration would be 68.5% of the total budget. Why don't we simply give less money to the municipalities to maintain a few miles of their own roads with their own staff? Thank
And
you.
next we have, I'm sorry, mispronounced the name. Alicia Nicole.
Hello, good evening. I'm not going to break down the budget. I'm expecting that's going to be done, like you said, subsequently. But my sentiments echo everyone else's. Just kind of want a more clear understanding of the allotments allocated to specific funds, especially when there's a large discrepancy on what was actually spent versus what's projected. Furthermore, I'm glad to see Robert Hunt up there. I would like to know, like, what is his availability? It seems as though every time anyone approaches him for questions or explanations, he runs in the other direction. And I'm not really clear on why he's not available more and why he doesn't or isn't required to present the budget more often at this meeting. It seems like he just ducks and dodges any questions related to the budget. And this is after he wasn't available. He was sick for the annual budget meeting. And of course, people have questions. And since then, I haven't been able, myself or others I'm seeing, have not been able to get any answers from him. So I would kind of like an explanation on that going forward. What is his position? I mean, I know his position, but is he required to respond to requests for information? I heard that he shuffled it off to the clerk. Well, I understand it's financial responsibility is not within her job description, so I don't know why he would do that. And then I understand that there was no response to the request, even from the clerk. So I just need more understanding on how this process works, how we get information for financial questions that we have if we can't go to the finance director. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to go to the presentation of the 25-26 tentative budget appropriation ordinance for ordinance 25-007 for Thornton Township Road and Bridge Fund. Dr. Hunt,
good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to take a moment to thank a few people who made nights like this possible. Thank you to the supervisor, our board of trustees, our assessor, our clerk, and our highway commissioner for their continued leadership and partnership. And most importantly, thank you to the residents of Thornton Township for being here tonight and staying engaged in the work we do on your behalf. Tonight's presentation will walk you through the township budget overview, highlight how we allocated resources, where we are strategically, where we made strategic investments, and what the numbers look like across the rate. After that, I'll address the most common questions we received from the public. Road and Bridge Fund budget overview. What's coming in? The Road and Bridge Fund is projected to receive $1.52 million, an increase of $559,000 over the prior year. This includes a $500,000 grant in anticipated grant revenue from Cook County CDBG program. What we're spending? Spending focuses on infrastructure improvements and road maintenance. $500,000 is earmarked for new road projects contingent upon grant approval. Additional funds support routine maintenance garage repairs, and capital projects. Net impact, the fund anticipates a small surplus of $3,200. With a starting balance of $2.6 million, the fund remains financially strong and prepared for future needs. Quick highlight, $500,000 road work investment in record cooling, emphasis on garage facility maintenance and cleanup, continued investment in small-scale capital and repair projects, no drawdown or reserves, revenue match expenses. The road and bridge fund ensures safe and reliable infrastructure without overextending township resources. Next, I'm gonna go over the numbers of the budget. For the Thornton Township road and fund bridge, road and bridge fund, revenue, total revenue for the year is allocated at $1,520,456. Expenditures, administration division, $132,300. Maintenance of building division, $63,000. Permanent road division, $1,321,950. Total expenditures, $1,517,250. Net change in net assets, $3,206. Finally, I'm going over some of the questions that we received from the public. These are the questions we received from the Lansing Journal from the Road and Bridge. Question: expenditures increased by $1,321,950. New project. The answer to this: the fund is budgeted for long-needed infrastructure improvements. The next question from Lansing: has the township been saving reserves for this? The answer: Thornton Township has been steadily strengthening its reserve over the past 2 years, growing by approximately $600,000 last year and $400,000 the year before. These funds are not tied to any one project, but are being responsibly set aside as a safeguard for future needs or unforeseen circumstances. Like any well-managed government body, the township believes in maintaining a healthy fund balance to ensure stability, flexibility, and ability to respond to opportunities or emergencies without disturbing services. Next, we have some questions from Paul Roberts. The website doesn't have a single email address for residents to send suggestions or questions. We'll let them know that the website has been updated to include suggestion forms that residents can fill out and submit directly online. Next question: why does it cost twice as much to maintain your own building this year compared to last year? The response: the building has not had any major upgrades or repairs in the last 10 years. This year's budget allocates funds to address long overdue maintenance and bring the facility up to standard. Next question: why do you want to spend 2.43 times as much on personnel this year? With the recent election of the new highway commissioner, Thornton Township has budgeted for potential staffing and operational changes in the road and bridge department. This allows the commissioner flexibility to evaluate the department needs and make improvements. Staffing decisions will be based on efficiency, service delivery, and long-term goals, not inflated hiring. Question: why should the road and bridge department even exist? The department is essential for road maintenance, snow removal, drainage, and infrastructure in unincorporated areas. These services aren't provided by cities or villages, and Illinois requires the township to maintain them. Why don't we simply give the money to municipalities to maintain their own world? The township is legally responsible for unincorporated areas, and that responsibility cannot be transferred. Keeping control ensures faster response times and cost-efficient services delivered tailored to township.
Questions they will answer.
And that concludes the road and bridge presentation.
So those are all your questions.
Commissioner, like to chime in?
Thank you, Supervisor. I'll be quick. I'll be exactly 3 minutes. I promise I won't keep you here all night. Well, good evening, residents.
Good evening.
Y'all woke up. Thank you for being here today. As your highway commissioner for Thornton Township, I am proud to share the current state and outlook of road and bridge funds. A fund that is not only a financial instrument, but a reflection of our values, foresight, and our commitment to responsible and responsive public service. This year, the road and bridge fund is projected to receive $1.52 million, as we just heard from the director, which marks $500,000 increase over the previous year. That increase is not just a number. It's a testament to our proactive planning, smart partnerships, and our ability to leverage external support, including a $500,000 anticipated grant revenue from the CDGB program in Cook County. We understand the roads and bridges and public right-of-ways are the backbone of unincorporated Thornton Township. This is why our spending remains laser focused on infrastructure and improvements in routine maintenance. All of our positioning is for and to serve the residents first. Of the total incoming funds, $500,000 is earmarked for new road projects contingent upon final grant approval. These aren't just lines in the budget. They are the future roads that will connect our families to schools and businesses and each other in unincorporated Thornton Township. In addition to new development, we have dedicated resources towards garage repair and cleanups, ensuring that our operational facilities are safe and efficient and clean, not only for today's workforce, but for our future generations of public service workers in our highway department. With careful planning, this budget anticipates a modest but mindful surplus of $3,200. Reflecting a balanced approach towards budgeting. And with our starting fund balance at $2.6 million, we stand in a very strong financial position, prepared for both opportunity and emergency, without needing to dip in our reserves. Let me be very clear. We are not overspending. We are not going to underperform in the road and bridge fund. We are strategically investing in small-scale capital projects, prioritizing safety, sustainability, and stewardship. This budget reflects more than just numbers. It is a reflection of our promise to not drain our reserves, our promise to keep revenue and expenses together. I promise that our community's infrastructure will remain safe and strong and reliable. In closing, I want to thank our finance director for his work in collaboration with my office. I also want to thank him for his transparency and accountability in this process. This is how good government should function. Guided by values, backed by facts, and driven by results. Thank you, Supervisor.
Commissioner Russell, just.
Right.
Yes, I was about to ask if there's any questions from the trustee.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you for attending. I don't really, at this point in time, have any questions. I've got all the information I needed previously to go over this. But just to clear up a few things, function of the highway commissioner is not a favor in any way, it's an obligation. It's guided by township and state laws through state statutes and things of that nature. So this is our, I shouldn't say ours, it is ours, but I mean, it is his operation. He must do these things. He must do these things in a safe manner and as fiscally soundly as possible. A couple of things I want to say though, kind of even they apply to the highway commission, but they also apply to the other budgets. When it comes to things like grants, you must account for the money. You can't say, hey, we might not get the grant, let's not plan that way. That's just not the way it's done. You must account for the grant money. If you don't get it, then you call an audible, as they say. You make changes. But we must account for that money, feeling that we are going to get it. That's just the way it is. There is no way around it. That's the way it must be done. That's the proper way. So whether it's highway commission, whether it's general fund, or whether it's general assistance fund, that accounts to all of those. We need to account for that money. Right now, we're in the newer part of the building. It's not the case for all the buildings. I know especially with the Highway Commission building, it is not a new building by any means. Not only that building, but some of our other buildings, it's just that time. Air conditioning units are going out. Refrigeration units are going out, things of that nature. Garage doors are going out. It's kind of just that time. So once again, you need to anticipate in order to be fiscally responsible. You don't want to not account for things and then have something pop up later and say, oh, what are we gonna do? You just simply cannot do that. And once again, that applies to all of our budgets. You know, and just once again, across the board, I mean, anybody who's been to a grocery store or had a repair done at their house, everything has gone up. Unfortunately, everything is more expensive right now. Once again, we need to anticipate for that. We try our best not to be surprised by something like that. That's one of the main things we do. We need to be ready, we need to plan for the future. So, you know, I can't say for all increases, but some of the increases that we have is just based on those things. Things are simply more expensive right now. Let's see, just trying to see, I mean, if you know, Tim, I'm sorry. But that's it. So the budget, for right now, to speak to, you know, the Highway Commissioner, as he stated, it's in guidelines. Things have been, you know, the grants and things like that, they have been anticipated for, which has to be done. But as he said, we're not going into any reserves or anything like that. Everything is, you know, fiscally sound here, and we move forward in that manner, trying our best to be fiscally responsible and do the most we could with what we have, and do more with less is what I always like to look for. So, thank you.
Supervisor Mountain, recognized.
Yes. Recognize trustee Stubbs.
Thank you. I also spoke with the Highway Commissioner about his budget, and I was hoping in his presentation that he would speak about the flooding issues that we have in unincorporated. If you can speak about the floods, and that's why we need the grant money to help us with the flooding that we are responsible for. If you can elaborate on that, please.
Mr. Chair. Trustee, I'll elaborate a little bit about part of our responsibility as a co-workers, I guess the little divide between the road and someone's house as they're approaching it. We do the infrastructure work there. We do put that new piping into the ground, which helps with the plumbing, with the flooding and the water drainage issue. So it is something that's a part of our road and bridge projects and reserves to help us with that.
Thank you, and that hasn't been done in years. So I pray that we get the CDBG grant money to help us with all of these projects. Thank you.
Are there any other questions from any other trustee?
Supervisor, can I recognize?
The chair recognizes trustee.
I'll just state briefly that I want to commend the Highway Commissioner for accounts of just 2026. The small surplus of $3,200 being a grant. I believe not just for the road and bridge fund, but generally speaking, the C line items with major increases, those reflect the priorities of this administration. So I want to ensure that everyone is on the same page as it relates to the budget that we're looking to invest in our buildings, our roads, our bridges. We want to make sure that the township is in the best position possible to be able to invest into the future. This budget allows us to do that.
Thank you, trustee Stanley. Trustee recognizes trustee Yvonne.
I concur with my counterpart. Thank you, excuse me. I'm new to this, as all of you know. And I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be here with everyone that is sitting here. And I've spoken to everyone regarding their budgets. So we'll deal with the highway commissioner. For every spot that you see a dash and no dollars, that's the last administration. That means nothing was allocated So it stands to reason if you do your house budget and you did nothing last year, you want to be prepared for this year. So I only ask that you give us a chance. We've been here 63 days. I only ask that you give us a chance to do what you elected us to do. Thank you.
And with that, I call for a motion to adopt the fiscal year 26 road and bridge fund budget.
I make a motion to adopt the 2025, 2026 road and bridge fund.
Motion by trustee Stanley, seconded by trustee Stubbs. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Avant? Yes. Trustee Stubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Supervisor Harris?
Yes. With 5 members voting in the affirmative, the motion carries. At this time, we call for a motion to adjourn the road and bridge hearing.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn the road and bridge.
Motion by trustee Stubbs, seconded by trustee Avant to adjourn. Clerk, take the roll.
Trustee Stanley?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Stubbs? Yes. Trustee Avant? Yes. Supervisor Harris?
Yes. 5 members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
The time is 5:33, and we're getting ready for the call the meeting to order for the general fund and the general assistance fund. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Stubbs? Present. Trustee Stanley?
Here.
Trustee Avant? Here. Trustee Gonzalez?
Present.
Commissioner Russell? Assessor Elston? Supervisor Harris?
Present.
For those voting in the affirmative, we have a quorum. We'll now stand for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As stated earlier, before, during the road and bridge tentative budget hearing, we are moving public comments up to allow, for the potential of us to answer your questions or reply to your comments, regarding the, presentation of the budget, regarding the tentative budgets for the general assistance and general funds. We're moving public comments up to now, so, I will also just like to remind you that each person gets 3 minutes, that your comments must address the fund that is being presented, so that's the general assistance and the general fund, budgets. And a total of 30 minutes is allotted for public comments per ordinance. So at this time, I will call for the first speaker, Gardis Watts.
We're gonna switch the camera real quick, y'all, because Brian, that video was showing a little bit better.
Down here, and we're just moving forward in that manner, trying our best to be fiscally responsible and do the most we could with what we have. Do more with less is what I always like to look for. So, thank you.
Supervisor, may I be recognized?
Recognize trustee Stubbs.
All right, here we go.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Present.
Commissioner Russell? Assessor Elston?
Guys, y'all, you couldn't see the screen.
Supervisor Harris?
Present.
For those voting in the affirmative, we have a quorum. We'll now stand for the pledge of allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So as stated earlier before, during the Road and Bridge sensitive budget hearing, we are moving public comments up to allow, for the potential of us to answer your questions or reply to your comments, regarding the, presentation of the budgets, regarding the tentative budgets for the general assistance and general fund. We're moving public comments up to now, so, I would also just like to remind you that each person gets 3 minutes, that your comments must address the fund that is being presented, so that's the general assistance and the general fund, budgets. And a total of 30 minutes is allotted for public comments per ordinance. So at this time, I will call the first speaker, Gardis Watts.
First for the general assistance fund. We're looking at a net loss of 39%, but yet, we've allocated $1.5 million for the tax refund project, which is 7,000% more than what was, in the actual budget from last year. And, thank you, trustee, for that clarification. But it looks like a lot of those numbers have been unaudited, so we don't know where that money went. Because totaling those numbers with the zeros on the actual, in the general assistance fund, it comes out to $274,298. So is that missing? Is it gone? Where did it go? Has there been a forensic audit done? And as far as the general fund, we are looking at the loan interest expense, which went up to 23, no, actually twice as much as the loan payment from last year, from $950,000 to $3.1 million. Now, according to the budget from last year, there were actually 2 loan payments on the books. One from, I believe it was 2022 and one from 2014. Which one are we paying off of? Or we just, this is general loan payment. And lastly, going to the general fund. Oh, and also the general fund with the unaccounted money, $252,500. So we're looking at close to $500,000 being accounted for from the last administration. And like I said, no forensic audit. And also to, okay, all right, that's it for me.
Thank you. Next, we have Paul Roberts.
I'll pass.
Thank you. Next, we have Alicia. Is it Paul?
Thank you, for the last meeting and those explanations. Hearing explanations makes it easier to digest these numbers. Again, I mean, I understand this is the new administration. We're coming off of, like, who knows what, we still don't know where we were, where we stand. I do still think an audit is necessary. The one constant, Robert Hunt was the finance director for that administration, and now this one. So I feel like you should be the one to answer some of these questions that Doris just asked with regard to where some of the money went. You were the finance director then, you are the finance director now. So I feel like you should be able to provide some sort of an explanation for some of these things that are just kind of ambiguous. So again, thank you for this process. This is something I'm not used to at the township, and it's needed. We need to understand. That's all we want is to understand. And when you explain things, we can, use that and apply it to our knowledge, our thinking to help it make sense. So that's all we're asking. And again, Robert, a lot of this falls back on you because you were there then, you're here now, and there's still questions. And, I feel like, again, I'm just gonna keep saying it, you should be more approachable because it seems like you're hiding or deflecting or something when it comes to giving explanations to these things that you were first and directly involved with. Thank you.
Thank you. Trina Stump.
everybody. Thanks very much for being there and doing all the work that you do. I'm going to say that first. I had a question here on, I guess this would be the general fund. There's a section under training that I don't understand. It's G1, G2, G3. And it's for training, which is wonderful. We all need training. It's just there's no details there. So hopefully in your budget, you actually put at least some kind of an idea of how much it is or how many people might be going to the training. Another thing, as a resident, I kind of wonder how the salaries are figured out. I've never quite understood that. Is it hourly? Is it, I just don't understand how it's figured out. It seems like some people don't get very much at all. I'm thinking maybe they're part-time, they only work for 2 hours a week. And other people get very large salaries. I'm assuming they work a lot of hours, and of course they work very hard. And other people I know work very hard. They don't seem to get as much money as other people. So I was just curious as to how that's all figured out. And I think a lot of residents are kind of curious about that as well. Also, you see things on the budget like bonuses in addition to very less salaries, or expenses, again, in addition to very large salaries. Again, we don't know what those are for. What are those expenses for? Why would you get a bonus? Or, there must be a reason that you would get a bonus. I'm sure, some people are definitely entitled to more than they could ever afford to make. But we're just curious. So, and again, thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Rosanna Davis.
Hello, everyone. I want to make sure I say this. First of all, I want to apologize for making my first meeting, but I just relocated back here after 15 years to Chicago, went to Illinois, and I was out of state and went to Georgia. And since I've been back, not only South Holland, but because I was able to re-enter and being away and not being in constant of Illinois, the infrastructure here is terrible. So with saying that, I spent about the last 90 days just riding through different villages. There's a lot of need in Thornton Township. I appreciate you guys for taking on this large delicate task by coming behind an administration that had no transparency. And I just want to tell you personally that I appreciate you, because with transparency comes positive and negative. It comes with praise, and it comes with allowance, but it also comes with abuse. So when you have those different variations, you're going to have people that will balance it out. I'm going to give you a chance, and I will be very proactive. I'm a resident in South Holland, and I also own 2 businesses, and one of them happens to be in finance. So I'm going to dive deep into the different line items that they're speaking about. But I do know in finances, because I do a budget, if you start off with a 0, you have to add that 0 and what they should have done onto what you're doing now. So the numbers will inflate. So as a resident, I'll be here. My hands are open to help and volunteer in any area, whether it's in social service, whether it's in resources, but I will get a copy of the budget. I will dive deep into it, and transparency is needed and wanted, because I came in the back end of the last administration where there was no transparency and it was a lot of chaos. But I want to give you guys more than 63 days before I really hold you accountable for something. You need it, because you need to ride through what was going on. And I just ask us as a community to to make sure that we're asking questions and we also allow them the answers, that we hold them accountable once we see that the accountability has not been held up on the things that they stated that they were going to do.
Thank you. Anthony Williams.
Good evening, fellow citizens. Good evening to Supervisor Bowden Harris and to the distinguished trustees. I'm a trustee at South River College, and the month of August is civility month. Now, civility is not such some nice thing. Civility is embracing your humanity, respect each other, respect others. Highest form of civility is nonviolence, but this generation don't want to hear that, y'all. But right now, more than ever before, particularly after the aftermath in terms of what we had to deal with in the past, well, supervisor, trustees, civility is very important. I see great possibilities for the township, and I see great possibilities in this administration. And I have to be proud of you all. And also, if you have not gone to the new restaurant, St. Patrick's, I suggest you all go over there, please. So look, I just want to thank you all for your service and the best for the township and the best for us, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. Brian Zawinski.
Good evening, everyone. I just had a few questions. I also want to know about the forensic audit status. I also saw recently that Michael Smith had posted a FOIA that he had sent. He had a lot of questions regarding the different staff, staff responsibilities, staff salaries, new staff that have been hired, and apparently he had to send it to the public access counselor because he was not given an answer. So I don't know why. Because that should have been answered immediately. Also, I want to remind everyone, there are a lot of people up here on the board and in this room who yelled at Tiffany for months about overspending, but now we're seeing you push through expensive events. We have exploding budgets. We have no forensic audit. I suggest that you read and take to heart what the Lansing Journal wrote. They shared the Village of Lansing's procedure where they posted the budget online. So you should not have to come here and ask for the clerk to give you a paper version. That's very 1955. But I mean, let's update here. So posted the budget online for everyone to look at. You need to be able to answer the questions and fix the budget to adjust it without all these increases. And most importantly, like what they did in Lansing, postpone the vote on this. Don't rush us. People are barely surviving here. People are they're pinching pennies to be able to stay in their homes, to pay their property taxes. This is, it's survival mode out here. So when we see, doubling of budgets in certain line items all over, and it seems like you guys are putting more effort into defending why you want more money than into saving money. People are losing their homes because they can't afford these taxes. You're gonna have to do better, especially with all the months where you wouldn't let Tiffany have a few $100 to give seniors ice cream, but now we can afford hundreds and thousands of dollars going up and up and up and up and up and up. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So please, please, please do not vote on these budgets tonight. That's irresponsible. It's absolutely irresponsible. At least give us more time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Alexander Brown.
Good evening.
Y'all vote on that budget. Vote on the budget. This administration has been in office for 63 days. When they took their seats, it was like walking into a hornet's nest, what they walked into. And we have people in here, and you know, I try not to say anything because I get more emotional. Because I see what people are doing. When I see those other negative people over there, I hope I don't go out. Saying negative stuff. Why don't y'all go to Washington and talk Trump? That's what you need to be. Not here. What you say? Go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. All right, girl. How about the budget? This budget should have been passed before these people stepped in office. Don't blame them. You know it. Don't blame them. The prior administration, this board, not this board, that board, the prior administration was in disarray. We now have a board that's unified. Why don't you just give them a chance? They have not done anything illegal. Some of you may think so, but they haven't. Some of you must know it by now that after the budget is done, it has to be displayed for 30 days. These people ain't been here for 63 days. They had to come in and work with whatever budget was there. Then they have to post it for 30 days. What do you want? Chaos. I want you to vote on it. I do. Vote on it. There's been some complaint about why some people are still here. Like you, Mr. Hunt. They want to know why you still here. They don't know whether or not you qualified or not. You had to do what you were told to do. I think you're highly qualified. And when I say these, a lot of these employees are not fired, that speaks to his character, that means that speaks to his character. He's not going to come in here and just fire people, just to be firing people. To me, that this said that this man is caring about people. He can come in and start firing people because he cares. You got something to bring to the table. Those people that are going to be leaving out, excuse me, y'all. I'm down. They telling me my battery is low. No, my battery is high. Right on. All right, give them a chance. Yes. Hold them accountable. Yes. Let's unify. Let's work together. As long as the God give me breath, I'm going to be here behind you. Because I know there's so many people out here running their mouths all on Facebook, they ain't got the truth. They don't have the truth. You don't know what's going on. Yes. Got to sit down. Yes. That's a budget, y'all. Support everybody.
I would just like to clarify regarding the clerk's office and the pack that was submitted or requested by Michael Smith. We have a FOIA system on the website, and if residents have emailed me their FOIA requests, and I've asked them to submit it through the FOIA system so that we can keep track of it properly. We started having email FOIAs here, and this way we will lose the correspondence and the tracking of it. So I emailed him back and asked him to simply submit it through the FOIA system, which he did. And we are working on it. We are working on FOIAs that have been sitting there since last year. We are trying to get them to you in a timely manner. I apologize if they have been delayed, but we have been getting them out. Okay. But, and we did get a response to his complaint today. I have not read it because I came in after work and started working with, on the meeting tonight. So I just want to clarify that we do have a system that is on the website, and we ask that you please submit your FOIAs through that system. And that's the end of public.
At this time, we're going to have Finance Director Hunt to present the budget. First, the first budget we're going to present is going to be the general assistance, and then after we take, after the trustees deliberate on that, then we'll go to the general fund. Please proceed.
All right, I will be presenting the general assistance fund the same way as the road and bridge fund. I'll first walk through the council budget overview, highlight how we are allocating.
I wish more people would have come out. This is really sad.
Strategic investments, what the numbers look like across all major funds. After that, I will address the most common questions we receive on the budget. General Assistance Fund budget overview. The General Assistance Fund is projected to receive 9.39 million in revenue, a 2.88 million decrease from last year. This is mainly due to reduction in property tax levy based on current needs. The fund also includes over 1.9 million in-kind support from food donations from the USDA and Thornton Township Foundation. What we're spending? Expenditures are budgeted at 9.52 million, an increase of 2.17 million. Includes a 1.5 million tax refund program for qualifying homeowners, increased support for rental, utility, food, and emergency assistance. Funding includes cost of living adjustment for staff. Net impact, a modest reduction of 132,000 in fund balances expected, with a beginning balance of 18.28 million. The fund remains in a strong financial position. Quick highlight. 1.5 million is allocated for the homeowners tax refund program, expanded support for hardship assistance program, allocating for cost of living adjustments, continued community partnerships to enhance food distribution. The General Assistance Fund remains a key tool in supporting vulnerable residents and reinvesting in their community. Next, I'm going to go over the highlight for the General Assistance Fund actual budget. For revenue, total operating revenue, $7,477,477. Other revenue, total other revenue, $1,913,280. Total revenue, $9,390,757. Expenditures, administration division, $4,626,741. Home Relief Division, $4,896,016. Total expenditures, $9,522,757. Change in net assets, negative $132,000. I will now address some of the questions that we received from the public media. General Assistance Fund, revenue drop. Was this due to a mixed tax debt? No, the decrease was intentional. Thornton Township has made a strategic decision to reduce the General Assistance Fund tax levy by $3 million to provide direct relief to residents. This follows 2 consecutive years of strong surplus of $4.7 million and $4.27, which position the fund to maintain services without overtaxing the community. The reduction allows the township to shift the levy to the general fund, where it supports broader programs that benefit more residents while keeping overall tax rates steady. Vehicle purchase, $50,000. What is this for? Tax refund project, $1.5 million. What are the details? Thornton Township has updated this line item to vehicle expenses. This allocation supports general assistance programs. The funds will be used for ongoing repairs, maintenance, and the potential replacement of vehicles to ensure safe and reliable transportation for food deliveries. The tax refund initiative will assist eligible homeowners who pay property taxes and receive homeowners discounts. Administration, merit compensation, $35,000, employee benefits, $10,000, deferred compensation, wide increase. These lines provide flexibility for merit compensation, employee benefits, and retirement matching. If unused, these funds remain unspent These allocations ensure no employee is denied benefits due to lack of budget. Home Relief Division. New spending on services like medical, ambulance, rural, training, etc. Are these new programs? No, these services have existed over 15 years. While some were not used last year, funding is being restored to ensure continued support for residents in need. And then last one, medical insurance decreased from 99,000 to 10, and other benefits increased. The medical insurance allocation for food payment was increased to 110 in the department budget. This reflects a reallocation of $100,000 that was originally budgeted in the General Assistance Administration. This adjustment ensures that benefit costs are properly aligned with the actual location of staff while reducing coverage of service.
Any questions from trustees? Seeing none, I'll make some general comments regarding the budget. As was stated by Finance Chair Hunt, we reduced the levy strategically, meaning that this is going to allow us to pay less in taxes in our total overall budget. Well, first, let me say this. A budget is a reflection of our priorities. We hear a lot of talk about it's increased here, or not enough this, not enough that. This board and myself strategically sat down and thought about the processes in which we go about this, because we don't want to leave any resident behind. And when you're spending on the best interest of the residents, sometimes you have to make the tough decisions to increase things for the sake of the residents. It was said about property taxes. But we have a tax relief program in process. That does not mean that all of the revenue that was allotted for that will be spent. But we needed it there just in case. If 100% of the people utilize it, we're gonna have that money readily accessible for the residents of Thornton Township. And that's important, because we're not gonna sit here and deny people the services that they need, that they pay for, and that respectfully, we should give them. Last thing, we talk about having it both ways. I'm hearing a lot of talk about, well, you're overspending this and we need to get a forensic audit for this and do this for that. Well, you do know that audits cost money too. And if we add the audit to it, then we're gonna go over more budget. So let's stop the nonsense about who did this and who did this, and let's come together in response to the residents here at Thornton Township. And I know myself and the commitment of this board, we're gonna put the residents first in every decision that we make. And so with that, I'll say thank you, Finance Chair Hunt, for bridging the gap and standing in the gap and allowing us the opportunity to work alongside with you to put this budget together that should have been done months ago. But moving forward, we now have a roadmap, so that now we're going to be able to have more efficient budgets. And as we continue to grow through this process, these departments, we're going to continue to strengthen them to make sure that we enhance the services for the residents. I was given a comment that said that we've cut down services here at the township to get higher salaries. That is just untrue. There's a lot of untruths going on around here, a lot. And if you really want to know what's going on, all you have to do is ask and go to the proper channels. Everyone wants it their way, right away, and that's just not how government works. We're working as speedily as we can, trying to catch up on work that was dropped in our lap when we took office. So please, bear with us. We're going to get this thing corrected as best we can and get things moving in the right direction. And as we say, moving forward. Thank you. At this time, I ask for a motion to adopt. So next, before we adopt them, we're gonna move right along to the finance chair to do the general fund.
I already presented the general fund budget the same way as the other two budgets. We'll first go over the budget overview, highlight how we allocate resources, where we made strategic investments, and what the numbers look like across our major funds. After that, I'll address the most common questions we receive on the budget. General fund budget. Thornton Township anticipates a $13.27 million in general fund revenue for fiscal 2026. This represents reference to the $3.1 million General fund expenses are projected at 14.2 million, an increase of 2.9 million over last year. The primary driver is a payoff of a 3.34 million loan, eliminating a long-term debt. The decision is expected to save Thornton Township approximately $350,000 in future interest payments. The township is also allocating for cost of adjustment for staff. This budget reflects a planned reduction of $743,000 in the fund balance due to the one-time loan payoff of $3.3 million. The general fund will maintain a healthy reserve of over $5 million. The township remains financially strong while continuing to fund core services. Quick highlights. There are strong reserves positioned even after the loan payoff. Continued investment in senior services and transportation support. Funding for community events such as picnics, luncheon, and outreach. Support for youth engagement, accessibility ramps, and public communication. This budget reflects a balanced approach between fiscal responsibility and service to the community. Going over high level numbers of the Thornton Township General Fund revenue. Total revenue will be $13,274,203. Administration bills to the department $7,292,422. Post department $38,500. Cemetery department $13,000. Assessor department $392,401. Department senior services $1,695,633. Department of Transportation Services $930,226. Department of Community Outreach and Engagement $1,168,907. Department of Special Services $220,168. TAP program $995,214. Department of Youth and Family Services $1,270,600. Total expenditures $14,017,134. Change in net assets negative $742,931. Finally, I'll go over some of the questions we received from the public. How many people work at Thornton Township? How many people are employed within each one? Thornton Township currently employs 151 staff members. The distribution as follows: General Fund 121, General Assistance Fund 27 employees, Road and Bridge 3 employees. There is spending on education and seminars in most divisions this year, up from zero from last year. Why is there an increase in educational spending? Under new leadership, Thornton Township is prioritizing training and professional development for staff and elected officials. These investments are critical to ensure quality service delivery and regulatory compliance. The budget reflects this moving forward. There are several office equipment increases planned. Does this represent an overall upgrade? Why did last year record zero for office supplies and equipment in most areas? There are modest allocations between 1,000 and 5,000 have been made across departments to cover potential replacement or upgrades to essential office equipment, such as printers or computers. These are arbitrary and ensure departments remain operational if equipment fails. The budget totals over $20 million, and these small line items represent standard computers. Special project, computer database. Can you tell us more about this planned upgrade, which seems to be taking place across the business? Each department relies on program-specific databases to manage services. These funds are allocated to ensure maintenance and updates, emergency fixes as it is part of a improvement plan, especially as technology continues to evolve. Another question: why are there so many new charges for posters? General Fund loan shows a planned 16,000 increase in posters. Posters to cost General Fund departments total $22,000 for fiscal year 2026. Spread across 6 departments, that's approximately $300 per department per month. This ensures departments can communicate by mail where needed, especially to reach residents about digital assets. Zero lines in prior years created operational limitations, which this budget creates. Liability insurance. Costs are going down across the board. Is this because Typical Henry is no longer with the township? For fiscal year 2026, Thornton Township has taken a conservative and realistic approach to budgeting for insurance costs. The insurance allocation will increase to reflect the actual fiscal year 2025 expenditure of $1,097,000, the highest ever paid by Thornton Township. While the initial budget allocated $764,000 across the general fund and assistance fund, the revised budget accounts for the recent spike in premiums and aims to ensure sufficient coverage while under budget. Historically, the township insurance costs range from $300,000 to $400,000 across all major funds. While we hope that rates stabilize, the adopted budget reflects a cautious and prudent approach based on more recent experience, not any one person. Merit compensation. Who's this plan for? The merit compensation line item has existed for several years and not designed for any specific individual. It provides flexibility to allocate additional compensation throughout the year as needed, allowing the township to evolve services and organizational needs. Loan payment, $3.17 million, up from $950,000 last year. Is the loan coming due? The township is planning to pay off its outstanding loan in full during the fiscal year 2026. This strategic move, pending revenue performance, would save over $350,000 in interest and eliminate future obligations. Community relations, $200,000. Community relations commission, $50,000. Why these increases? Thornton Township is restoring and enhancing its commitment to community programs. Events such as community picnics, lunch, and other outreach efforts are designed to engage and serve our diverse population of over 100,000 residents. The increased allocation ensures these events are properly supported and accessible. The Human Relations Commission is also being funded appropriately to support inclusive initiatives reflecting the township diversity. Clerk department, special projects, $15,000. What is this for? With a newly elected clerk, the budget includes a modest allocation for new initiatives, technology upgrades, and unforeseen operational needs. Senior service salaries increased to $522,000. Home modification lines up $50,000. Is this the roofing program? There are 11 employees in the senior service department. The salary decrease reflects cost of living adjustment. The $50,000 home modification program installed ramps, stair lifts, handrails for eligible seniors, not roofing. Department of Social Services, budget increase of $125,000. Why the movement? This department supports special needs residents with activities like dances and recreational outings. The increase reflects efforts to fully reactivate post-pandemic programming and maintain long-standing community service. Vehicle versus $50,000. What are the vehicles for? Thornton Township has updated this line item to vehicle expense. This allocation supports the TAP program, which operates a fleet of 25 vehicles. The funds will be used for ongoing repairs, maintenance, and potential vehicle replacements to ensure safety and reliability for transportation for residents. Department of Youth and Services, special project $10,000. Youth Foundation $5,000. What are these for? The funds support youth-focused programs such as holiday toy giveaway and educational events featuring speakers on topics like anti-violence, mental health, and personal development. The line item previously labeled Youth Community Body has been updated to Thornton Township Foundation to reflect current operations as the township no longer makes use of youth community. The foundation allocation also provides the foundation annual audit and other essential operation needs if required. This year's budget was again prepared by Finance Director Hunt, but was hurriedly completed after the deadline. preferred questions to the clerk, again, respond before hearing. The budget prepared by the finance department in coordination with the department heads and Thornton Township leadership, following the same process in prior years. Our timelines were tied to administration transition. All legal notices and hearing requirements were met. Residents were encouraged to submit questions in advance, and we are addressing them publicly tonight.
Thank you, Chairman. A couple of highlights that I want to go over regarding this budget for the general fund. As I said previously, a budget is a reflection of your priorities. These are some of the priorities. These are some of the priorities that this body has taken up and that we really care about. And I'm just going to list a few of them. Let's start first of all with our senior services, the hot lunch program. From March 1st to June 30th, just this year, we've served over 12,000 hot lunches to seniors at a reduced price. Therefore, the Thornton Township projects that we're going to serve close to 50,000 lunches during the first full fiscal year. Senior transportation. Township anticipates providing over 45,000 rides to seniors this year. The rides help seniors reach essential destinations like grocery stores, hospitals, dialysis centers, and other medical appointments. For our TAP, the lawn care assistance program for seniors. Thornton Township expects more than 6,000 lawns being cut during the summer months through its free lawn care program for eligible seniors. We're helping seniors comfortably age at their home with our home modification program, with our rent installation program, some of our senior social enrichment programs. We have bingo, we have senior trips for more than 2,500 seniors expected to participate on these sponsored trips. We have exercise program, we have movie day at the township, a tech savvy program that we have here for our seniors, our community enrichment program with our days in the park, the annual picnic, our Christmas toy giveaway, and our youth program with our summer enrichment program. This program ran from 9 to 4 each day, providing a safe, engaging, and educational environment for kids and youth during the summer. We had close to 100 participants enrolled just this year alone. And our after-school program, combined with our summer activities, we anticipate more than 250 kids throughout the school year to participate in youth enrichment activities. This is a small portion of the dedication that we as a body are dedicated to as far as getting our services here in Thornton Township. We haven't cut any services. We actually anticipate on adding services because it's much needed. We talk about mental health. We talk about financial literacy. There's a number of things that the township residents send requests in to do that we're trying to fit into this budget. And at an appropriate time, I think we're going to be able to do all of those things, even more than what we just added tonight. So with that being said, if there are any questions for any trustees?
I'd like to be recognized, Supervisor.
Chair recognizes Trustee Gonzalez.
I don't have any questions, but I do want to say a few things. You see increases in areas of the budget, but this is as we make our transition with this new board, because with these budgets, the focus is on you, the focus is on services. I'll just go ahead and say it. In the past, that wasn't the case. The focus, unfortunately, was on a person. We're focusing on you, the residents now, and that's how we are going forward. So yes, some things have increased. A couple examples, special services. It was touched on already, but I want to bring it up again. That's kind of one of the things that are near and dear to my heart. That helps disabled citizens or disabled residents with various things, whether it be recreational or things in the home. Those were things that just unfortunately fell on the wayside in the, just the past, what we've been through. So once again, the focus is off of promotion and more on services. Seniors, another part of the township that's near and dear to my heart. Once again, it's bringing more services to direct to our seniors. I was an employee here many, many years ago, and those were the areas mainly that I worked in. At that time, it was combined called Senior and Special Services. So needless to say, those are things that are near and dear to my heart. And those, it hurt me when I saw those things, for the most part, being neglected. But going forward, I can clearly see with this budget that that's not the case anymore. Once again, the focus is on service. You know, I'm glad somebody, the gentleman brought up ice cream, and, you know, something, I'll just use that as an example. Once again, it wasn't about ice cream. It wasn't about stopping any services. What it was about how much those things were costing. We didn't have that information. Well, as you can see in this budget, we do have that information now. And that's how we go forward. We're able to make decisions because we know where we're at, we know what we're spending, and that's what it's all about. Now we could do more with less, like I said before. I was never looking to stop any of the services. And if anything else, I wanted to increase them. Once again, within our means, and that's what we're doing here. That's why we are voting on these budgets, and that's why they're crucial that we get these done. I'll go back to the other budget, the general assistance one. It's been asked questions and it's talked about the tax refund project. Well, yes, that's something that's been brought up before. It's something that the township has done before. But guess what? We have numbers to work with now. Before it was always just thrown out there as just said, let's approve the tax refund project. Well, no, that's why I said no. We need to know how much it's going to cost. We need to know who's getting serviced by it and things of that nature. Well, guess what? We know that now, and that wasn't the case before. So that's how we go forward, not only as a board, but working with you, the citizens. I could go on and on. There's so many examples, that we could give. The supervisor gave some excellent examples as well. But I think it all comes down to communication, not just us as a board, but us with the residents as well, back and forth. Information coming our way, information going your way. That is crucial, and that's all being done. It's being worked on. It's already been said. It's been 63 days. Things are still being worked on. I've equated it to kind of like when you're dating somebody for the first time. You got to get to know each other, see how each other works, and from there you take it forward. You're not, doing those work streams over the first couple of days, right? So we get to learn not only with us, but with the residents, and we get to know each other, and that's just a simple truth. So like I said, we're going forward at that. But like I said, rest assured, the focus is on you. It's not on anybody on this board. It is on the residents and it is on the citizens. And with all that being said, I just want to thank our supervisor, the rest of the board, the staff for all their assistance in all this, bring us to us, and also thank the residents for their questions. You need to ask questions. We want you to ask questions. That's what it's all about. We may not always have the perfect answer. We may not have an answer that you're happy with, but you will get an answer. And that's kind of the bottom line, and we just kind of take it from there. But I would like it to get to a point where we are just asking a simple question of why did this cost this amount, or something simple like that, as opposed to going just, where myself or, you ask me a question, I say, in all honesty, I don't know that because I'm not giving the proper information. That is not the case. I am giving the proper information. I'm able to make intelligent decisions, and once again, it's about communication both ways. So sorry, I went a little long, probably past the 3 minutes, but thank you.
Supervisor Harris, be recognized.
The chair recognizes.
I just want to say to the residents, this is the year 2025. The cost of living have went up. The cost of materials have went up. To build a ramp now for a senior citizen, I'm sure it costs much more than it did in the year 2020. In the year 1994, when I started at the Department of Corrections, my starting salary was $16,000. Today, that salary for a new hire is $68,000. Everything have gone up. Your groceries have went up. So all I'm saying to you residents, when you look at this budget, think about what year it is. Think about back in 1976, when you paid a nickel for a bag of potato chips, and now what do a bag of potato chips cost? Everything costs, and it's constantly going up, and therefore we have to increase the budget so we can accommodate the senior citizens or youth programs. So we have to do all of that. But I want you to keep that in mind, that this is the year 2025. Thank you. Thank you.
Trustee Brown, you recognize?
I am not gonna keep you guys for 1 second on my comment. Trustee Stubbs stole my thunder. But I'd like to ask everyone in this room, except Ms. Williams, because I don't use postage stamps anymore. Does anyone know what a postage stamp costs today? 78 cents to mail one letter. Now, when they were 32 cents, I bought 15 books. And I don't use stamps, so I can still mail my letters when I have to for 32. But if I hadn't done that, we complain about the cost of eggs. I eat eggs all my life. My eggs are bad for you. They cost too much anyway. But give us an opportunity to make it right. When we fought up here, or when they fought up here, everybody complained. Ain't getting nothing done, just fussing and fighting. We don't fight, but you don't know what goes on in the back room. We talk, as the supervisor says. If we come out here and agree, trust me, we agree for you. But think about it next time we have to do that. Thank you.
Trustee Stanley is recognized.
Let me say, as relates to the general assistance fund and general fund.
Speak more into the mic, please. Speak into the mic.
Is that better?
Yes.
As relates to the general assistance fund and general fund, we made some strategic investments for this township. We're talking about investments as relates to transportation services, keeping rides accessible for our seniors, our youth, expanded funding for community outreach and engagement. We're doing some big things with Thornton Township. With us, give us a little bit of time. We continue to do that. This board gets along. We are a team. We communicate as much as we possibly can in order to make sure that these budgets make sense and that the services are most applicable for our residents. Give us a little bit of time. It's been 63 days, and you guys keep hearing that. But we've done a lot in those 63 days. We're going to continue to do so.
Thank you, trustees, for your questions and comments. This is time I ask for a motion to adjourn. Trustee Stanley makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by Trustee Stubbs. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Stubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Hunt? Supervisor Harris?
Yes, 5 in the affirmative, the motion carries, and this meeting is adjourned.
Hey. Blessings, everyone. That was a pretty long and drawn out meeting. Thank you for being here. If you don't remember, we went over the budget a few days ago, and I do want to kind of talk about some stuff, y'all. Honestly, I'm not trying to be, fictitious or not give them a chance, but there's some stuff that we just gonna have to highlight again, because when they say that they are investing more in the services, that's not exactly what I saw. That was one of the things that I highlighted, that the pay went down and the services, it didn't seem like as much services. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to show y'all some stuff. This is 2025. I think I'm just going to show y'all the PowerPoint again, and we're just going to go over some of the things, because I'm like, okay, I'm a little astonished. One, how the roads and bridges guy was kind of aggressive and not even breaking down what he's going to do. What is the special projects? What's alarming to me about the road and bridges project thing is that throughout this whole year that I kept my eye on the general assistance fund, the general fund, and the roads and bridges in Thornton and Dalton, the roads and bridges has been the most sturdiest. It has been the most untouched. Now I know we have a lot of infrastructure issues as far as different townships, but I did not know that Thornton Township that provides services is responsible for the streets throughout all of the municipalities. This is something that I just need clarification on. So that's why it was very important for the road and bridges guy to actually get into detail about what he's going to be doing, because me, I'm confused. Because Dalton has their own road and bridges, and Dalton is under Thornton Township, right? Harvey have their own road and bridges, and they're under Thornton. So that I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I'm a little confused. So that threw me off because the focus was not totally on road and bridges when I did my report. Because I don't think that was forward to me, honestly. I just had the GA fund and the general fund and the general assistant fund. So I'm gonna go back into it just a little bit, but I do want to show y'all some stuff. Let me just put myself in the corner because they got me long-winded here. I'm over here like, what is going on? Why is these people talking like this? Give me 1 second. Again, thank you to everybody who's in the chat. It's keeping the drama free. I appreciate you. Now, check this out. Let's see. Let me get this on the screen. Why did they? Now, this is the General Assistance Fund. As y'all saw, what I did was basically do a comparison of both years. I wish I could take this note part off. The reason why I got this like this, y'all, is because when I click through, when it's on review mode, I can't zoom up. So one thing I do want to highlight, because I mentioned this and I couldn't find it in the last slide. It looks like they're going to purchase a vehicle. And I did find that. Where we at? Right here. Okay. Thank you, Jesus. Under the General Assistance Fund, it says purchase a vehicle. So in 2026, they're going to purchase a vehicle for $50,000. I just wanted to show y'all that a vehicle. I haven't seen that in the old budget, but I have seen vehicle maintenance, things like that. One thing I will say, I have noticed that the clerk office and the assessor office has got special project money. Their pay is pretty good and they got extra money. I'm just being honest. Okay. I'm just being honest and I'm going to show you. This is back to the PowerPoints that we did the other day. Just go into it just a little bit because I'm a little astonished at what they're saying, as though y'all don't have a reason to still question, and you should. Okay. You should always question. But as I told you guys, the taxes in 2025 is going to be, $9.6 million. And then we mentioned that they're going to give y'all a little buffer next year and decrease it to $6.8 million for the General Assistance Fund. And I believe, and that's why I'm like, okay, if they're increasing the General Assistance Fund, and I believe that the general fund is where the $3.1 million is coming from, how are they doing that? How are they doing it? I'm going to look more into the budget, because they can't switch funds in between accounts. But that's what I was thinking. They're trying to get this extra money to one, pay off that big old loan. You see what I'm saying? Get that out of the way. And I think that's coming from the tax situation. Again, it's funny because when you hear Robert Hunt talk about that, what I just mentioned, he went right into the $1.5 million in the tax relief, and I figured that because that was a buffer. They did sit back there and really evaluate how to bring this budget to you, and I guess do it the best way they could. But it's funny because when Robert was talking, that's exactly how I broke this down the other day. I had a feeling that they were maneuvering certain ways, one, to get that $3.1 million down paid off, but why do the taxpayers have to pay it off in one whop? So you see what I'm saying? And that $3.1 million can come from other places as well. So peep this. All right. So as I mentioned to you guys, there are pays that's going down, but there are certain things that's going up. So these salaries have went down in the administrative division, as you can see here. I made it too big, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I wish I knew how to. Let me see. I'm gonna do it in review. Let me see, because if I put it in slideshow mode, it just get on my nerves. And I can't zoom it up. Y'all see what I'm talking about? But can y'all see it better when it's like that? Just let me know. Let me get on the screen. Let me look at it. Y'all make us see it better. Can y'all see it better like this? Nope. And that was the thing too. When I put it in PowerPoint mode, it don't change. All right, so let's just do it like this. I wanted to show y'all some things. Now they were talking about the computer thing, and I'm a little astonished about that because that was one of the things that alarmed me for the last couple of years. It was that they were spending mad money on computers in different areas. Again, you're gonna see here computer equipment. This is right here under. Is this the administrative division? Because you can find computers all over. But here in the administrative division, they're going to purchase a vehicle for the administrative division. So I don't know who need a car in administrative division because that's where it's coming from under the general assistance funds. And then they're going to be purchasing computers, equipment, supplies. Now that's not bad to say $1,500, $700 for 2025 and 26. This is the other one from last year, the last 3 years. Computer equipment. Now, you know, Tiffany was rocking out a little bit. And computer equipment here on the administrative division in 2025 was $25,000. So we're going to look a little bit more because when we go through this, they have computers up here more than one time. So that's not nothing. Don't worry, it's more coming. So they have computer equipment, capital outlay, another $5,000. Okay, so I know that it's like it looks like some cuts, but then it's like it's split up. The budget didn't really decrease at all. It pretty much did increase. And I know they're saying that it's because of the services, but I don't totally believe that. Now, we already talked about the food pantry and how they're not going to be laundering all of this money out of here. Y'all see this on the right-hand side of it, my right, your left. Pantry food donation, the $5 million, the $5 million, the $3 million that we talked about. That's not coming out. So they got control over that. But I don't know if they're trying to get the money out of the roads and bridges. That's why it's very important for us to understand what they're going to be doing with the road and bridges project. Just for that man to sit there and just say, we need the money, this, that, and the third, is kind of just like, okay. And it took Valerie Stubbs to come in and say, you know, basically, you remember you were telling me about this and saying that, just to give him some damn credibility. It was just kind of weird. I didn't like the way he sounded, but I'm gonna move on. Now, this is the Thornton Township. This is the HRP special projects, and we're gonna go into this the Harvey food pantry. This is still a little bit more. Only thing I can say is the holiday baskets. It's pretty much the same. It's not bad. Let me go to this one. Let me go because I want to go. I was trying to look at. Remember, I was asking y'all about the lawn care. We can get there. The harp and the tarp. That's what I'm going to go to because they making it seem like they spending so much money on the people and they not. Let me show you the clerk office. So this is the clerk office. Hopefully I got the let me go back. Bear with me, y'all, because I told y'all it was hard to put. If y'all watched the video, it was, like I said, it was hard for me to put things together. This is administration department and the general. I'm trying to find the clerk because I remember seeing this is a special project. So let me just show you special project 2025. Let's see something. Now here you're going to see supplies for the clerk. Postage, and this was they was talking about postage, $5,000. They were saying talking about stamps and stuff. And when they was talking about that, I was like, "Yo, how much stuff do you need to send in the mail?" I do know y'all need to send certified mails out, but how much stuff do y'all send in the mail as far as bills? A lot of stuff is electronic and on websites. So no disrespect to all that postage talk, but there is other ways, compensation ways that y'all don't have to spend on, they throwing out inanimate objects, like no disrespect to no particular trustees, nothing, but how much their costs, how much paper costs. I mean, we are in inflation, but I'm gonna be honest, since the 2020 and into the COVID, the numbers are actually going down. The housing market is starting to not flatten out, not going yet, but it seems to be staying still, not increasing. And certain things are going down. It depends on what the president say for the day. Now, with that goes to say, I don't think that how can I say, I don't think that it may be as expensive as they're making it seem to repair places. Building from the bottom up is different. Repair is another thing. They mentioned that some of the buildings they have repaired for 10 years. I'm saying if it's needed and what is the building used for. And that's some of the things that the people have been asking. So let me get back into the clerk, because the clerk got a little bit more going on. Hold on. This is under, I keep going backwards. This was the 18th page thing. Hold on one second. This is the assessor department. And I think I got the clerk under here. The assessor department as well. They got their salary there. The assessor and the clerk is making money. I don't know if that's his right-hand man or something, but y'all let me know, because they have packages to do special projects as well as their pay is okay. I'm just being honest. So they get his another computer stipend, not too much off his equipment, but then where else did I see computers? I see computers a little bit. Where did I see computers? I'm trying to remember. We're going to make it. We're going to find it. Because this computer thing is ridiculous. It's 1 year that you see Tiffany spend $200 and something thousand on computers. I think that was in the administration division. Give me 1 second. Here, is this it? Computer database. That's what I'm saying. Like, look at this. Just in 2024, I know I'm jumping around the place, but y'all can see what I'm talking about because I'm trying to remember this document. So I'm right here in 2024, they spent $300,000 on computer database. Like right here, special project computer database. Now I know this was Tiffany, but don't bring that up and say that y'all need more equipment, because I'm not about to fall for that. That's just one thing. I was really feeling some way about all this computer shit that they said they was buying. That's why I was thinking Keith Freeman. I thought that he owned some type of tech company or something because of how much they was allegedly spending on computers. I don't know if Tiffany was hawking the computers or whatever, but I don't think that they need a whole bunch going towards that. So hold on. I wanted to get to the Napoleon versus Tiffany Henyard special projects. This is the senior department. Now, that was something that I did want to go over with you guys. But what I did notice, and this is just my summary, because they literally saying that they put more money into the senior department, but it honestly looked like it's the same amount. Like it's probably the same amount. Okay. And I know they had, and that's what I want to take my time, because they have the services broken up between Calumet City, and it says Riverdale Senior Center. The last couple of years, I don't think I saw Riverdale. You see what I'm saying? So I was a little bit kind of thrown off by that. So now it's like senior services, Calumet Senior Services, and Riverdale. So someone has to kind of explain to me how that works, because that wasn't in the budget before, the one for Riverdale. So y'all do have extra monies, I guess, going towards that particular area. But they also talk about transportation. They talked about the significant amount of money that they put in transportation, as far as putting more into it. I'm looking, and computer database again is under here. They love buying computers. So this is for the transportation service. They getting $7,000 in 2025 and $7,000 in 2026. But there's the fuel. They have the fuel for transportation. I'm trying to compare because when I looked at it, I think it was pretty much the same or a little bit like peep this. The fuel right here, they have a budget because he's saying that they spend more, and I'm like, nah, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I'm not tripping. Just in right here for fuel for the vehicles for transportation, it's going to be $80,000 if y'all can see 80,000. I'm rounding it out, and for 2026, it's going to be 85,000. If you go over to the old budget right here, when you go under fuel, 2022 was 72,000. 23 was 106,000 and 24 was 125,000. So was Tiffany hawking gas tickets? Was the gas prices more in 2025? Or are they just spending less in these 2 years on senior services and transportation? They talked about this. They said it. They said, oh, we spent a lot. So I'm trying to find out where the rest of the money is going to. So they do have the salaries here. But I think that's pretty much where the money, because there's a difference here. Let's see. Y'all see this? The total amount of contractors, 324,000 and 344,000 for 2025 and 26. And this right here, the contractors, total contractor service on the transportation is about the same. In 2022 was 462,000. Then it went down to 347,000. And then in 2024, it was 379,000. That's under Tiffany. That's why I said Tiffany, when I look at this, she was spending the money on them damn services, even if she was laundering the money out, allegedly, what people trying to say. But money was being like spent in particular areas, especially when it came to these events. Because Tiffany loved to have events. It is not a damn lie. So I don't think that's totally true what they saying they spent more on senior transportation services, because obviously here it looks like it's not. The transportation, okay? And the only reason why I think that it looks like more money is going to senior services is because Riverdale is added to it. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you tell me what y'all think. You know, I know I'm saying a mouthful, kind of like jumping around, but I know y'all can see what I'm showing you guys. Because when Robert Hunt ass is just talking, it's like, womp, 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 womp. So I was trying to write things down, but I'm like, all right, I'm just going to show y'all a few things here. Now, this is Department of Outreach. I wanted to go to the grass program. The tap, because I didn't get into it. I was like, the tap and hat. Is that the the grass program? There you go. Tiffany versus Napoleon. And it looks like the salaries was high as hell under Tiffany. She had the salaries at 700,000 last year. Ooh, wait. So I know it was a lot of adjustments made. That definitely had to go. But the salaries are down to 276,000. Now, how many people could you pay with $276,000? I'm just being honest. That's why people are asking, like, who's getting paid, how many workers you have. You see what I'm saying? Because $276,000 probably pay 2 people. And then them people are going to be just below minimum wage. Like, you see, with a middle class, I'm gonna be honest, $150,000 a year is not a lot when you on your taxes, especially when you're doing taxes. It's not, especially with this inflation. So how many people getting paid in that TAP program? And that's what they were asking. Check this out. Why the hell they got so much postage? It's true. Why do they have postage everywhere? And it says utilities here. the utilities, I don't know if y'all have a building. That's why when I did a freedom of information request, let's talk about this too. I'm gonna have to go off just a little bit. Let me go off because the clerk who was saying, the reason why Catch a Dog Smith didn't get his request because he did an email. I can't even be mad at Catch a Dog Smith for doing the email because I was using the portal that they have a lot. It was kind of efficient. It made things transparent that people didn't have to keep asking for the same freedom of information request. But when they did not answer my freedom of information request correctly, there was no means to counter, at that situation by sending an email to them. Do you see what I'm saying? Once they said it was fulfilled and I go and then they gave me the wrong link, it was nothing I could do. But I did report it to public access, and public access was trying to figure out what I was saying, and I was letting them know like they have an actual portal, and I understand, but there's no way to talk to them when they make a mistake. So that was with the Kamal Woods thing. So I'm gonna be honest. Over the last couple of weeks, with all of the thing that blew up, I kind of fell back to kind of stay focused, get focused on my stuff. I didn't follow up after that. So it is good that I'm gonna keep it real. Catch a Dog Smith followed up because there is a serious dilemma with the Thornton Township Freedom of Information request process, point blank period. Because there's no way for you to send a letter or a note back to the Freedom of Information Officer and say, hey, this is what I was asking for. You made a mistake. Because the Cook County clerk, I did a freedom of information request with them, and they have a portal, and it's so great because their portal has a communication side. So they literally send you a message and asking you a question, and you send it back to them, and it's all on one screen. So that was good, but Thornton doesn't have it. So I don't like when she say, "Oh, you send it through here because we can track it better." This, that, and the third. It says a lot that the conventional way of submitting freedom of information requests, you get confused because that's usually the way you send freedom of information requests, through the email. And you as the clerk or the person in charge of freedom of information requests should be able to keep those things in order. So her saying that to me didn't make her sound good. I don't mean to be bashing people, but I just gotta, because I heard a lot that I was like, okay, are you for real? Are you for real, for real? All right. So again, they got the crazy postage here. Vehicle maintenance. This is under the TAP program. In total, let me see at the next page. I'm about to see if Tiffany beat. Okay. So yeah, Tiffany. Okay. Let me do this. Remember, it was $700,000 in salary for 2024. So let me take $700,000 off of this $1.3 million. Where is that going to lead us? About $800,000. Let's just do that. I'm just being fictitious to take that whole thing off. $800,000, and Tiffany still spent more on the ZAP program than Napoleon. I'm just being honest. Let's take off the inflated ass salaries that she did and then get down to the last number and see if so 900,000. She did 900,000 in salary. She's the fucking monkey. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Take her $900,000 off of this 1.4 million. That means 500,000 was spent. 500 plus. So that in 2023. So that was about how much they're gonna pay next year. So I'm saying this to say, because I was like, yo, they hyperinflating stuff. Because I know y'all didn't spend a lot on these programs. Because I was comparing, and I know people was upset with the way Tiffany was doing things. But when I looked at the budget, and certain stuff got money. So if he's saying that they did better, they're doing to do better than Tiffany. Hopefully with the lesser that they spend on the actual services and the grass services, that it'll, I don't know, is more controlled, because it's definitely, I'm gonna tell you, she beat y'all out on services. That's it. The budget, when you come to cutting down crazy salaries, doing things like that, making sure that Harvey Food Pantry don't launder money out, that's understandable. But that was my thing. That I felt like the Boulay member was going to come in there and not give y'all as much services because he don't identify. So he's saying there's a lot of room for adjustment. They got more ideas coming. So I'm just trying to figure out where these ideas fit when he talks about mental health and things like that. Don't throw that out there when you don't have a section on this paper for it. I'm just being real, because then when you ask the questions at the wrong time, then they feel in some type of way. So the Department of Youth Services, this is the last thing we'll look at. We already know Tiffany was overpaying her man. So let's see if they're doing a little bit better with the Department of Youth Services right here. It looks like in 2024, just the total amount of personal services Tiffany spent, I'm gonna say $1 million. And it's cut in half right now, which is good, because $800,000 of that was going to somebody's salary in the youth department for 2024. Okay. Yeah, they definitely cut that in half. So we do have to figure out how many people in the youth department. Just understand that I'm just keeping it real. Maybe I'm greedy. I said 150,000, right? $150,000 is not a lot a year. As a regular person, me as a single mother, I need to make 190,000 or 170 for my kids to be comfortable. But maybe because I'm from the north, but y'all from out there with that high ass tax too. So I'm just trying to figure out how many people getting paid with that, especially with y'all taxes out there. So yeah. Back to what I was saying. Let's get back to it, comparing the youth program. We don't know. He said, I guess he said that the school program is your youth program. Is that the only youth program that y'all offer out there? Trying to figure out. But it looks like, let's see, what is this? Security services. The day in the park. That's part of that. That's part of the youth services as well. I think that's pretty much even. Kinda. Check it out. I think it's pretty much even when you take the inflated salary out. Because if you look at Tiffany, the total, you see what I'm saying? Hers was like 2.7 million. And then y'all for 2026 here, say 1.2 million. And you remember Kamal and them took about 800,000 of that. So take 800,000. Tiffany spent like 1.8 million or so on these services. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. So this is about the same. I'm gonna be honest. He didn't do nothing extra. It's nothing really extra. Like after school program, that is a separate thing. See, after school program, they get $60,000 and $53,000 right here. Y'all can see it right here. But after school program on Tiffany got 75,000. But in 2022 and 23, they didn't do any too much. But you see what I'm saying? They talked a lot of stuff. I'm only here showing you this because I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all talking heavy on certain things that's just not the truth. It's really just not the truth. They do got to allocate a little bit more money to the programs. But again, as I mentioned, maybe they're talking about the extra money that they're spending is the one that's going to Riverdale Senior Center, because that was never in y'all budget for the last 3 years that I saw. So I think I showed enough. I just had to go back and be a little cornball and show y'all what was actually happening. The compare and contrast, if y'all did not see. Y'all let me know who's doing better out of Tiffany and Napoleon. Because at this point, when it comes to services, children's services, he ain't do better. He ain't do better. I'm just going to be honest. Real is real. His big salary may have been the big pusher. And we're going to look back into the clerk and to the assessor's office. Because y'all got to let me know if that's his right-hand man, because they actually get paid pretty good. They get paid, and I believe the clerk got $15,000 in special projects, and the assessor also has like $5,000 or $6,000 for a special project. Now, like I said, if it comes to sending out postage for the $1.5 million in tax refund, I could give y'all that, but I can't totally give y'all that because I got the internet. You see what I'm saying? So everything could be done online. So all that extra money for postage, I don't know if that's a way to lauder money out, but y'all just keep doing what y'all doing, because obviously this man is still in there. I'm gonna play this for y'all, and then I'm gonna show y'all one more thing, because this guy, he's suspect.
Three choices. Is it 9 million, 4 million, or 2 million? Because those are vastly different, and we done heard all three.
I would, if I had the number in the front.
You can't even give me an answer on one of those three. Those are three. You could just pick. You have any idea? Because you heard her say three different numbers, right? You heard her say 9 million, right? That was the last one. No?
I don't know. I would just, if I had the report in front of me, I just.
When the last time you looked at it? You don't look at the report to see how the budget is. Even when she's telling you it's 9 million, you don't just double check.
I'm talking about the audit.
No, I'm talking about the budget report where she said it's a $9 million surplus. I'm asking about surpluses now.
I mean, I just.
Well, it's a 9, 4, or 2, because she done said all three.
You know, I'm looking at it.
What you are? What is that, Robert Hunt? You don't do not. What is you looking at doll dresses for, Robert Hunt? Now you do not want me filming that. Did you looking at doll? Please tell me you got a 5-year-old daughter. Okay. Are you?
Shout out to Miss Alicia and Nicole. That was a clip she had from one of the meetings, getting on him, asking him about the surplus, and his ass ain't had nothing to say but looking at them girl doll dresses. But if anybody want to see or ask, this is just one old receipt, because you know we keep the receipts, dog, and we got more receipts coming because we got some stuff to talk about this week. But look, y'all remember Robert Hunt asking how he was spending money last time? Let's remind you. Amazon, Comcast, Amazon. What the hell was he doing? Don't forget about Keith Price. I'm gonna shut up. I'm not even gonna talk about this man, because he literally, you can't get no lower with Keith Price. You can't get no lower than, let me shut up before I start talking crap. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for being here, because we ain't gonna get messy. As I told the audience, thank you. This is a mess-free zone. Unless whatever topic we talking about, that's what we're gonna focus in on. So I do want to say thank you for being here again, for watching this with me. And I have a surprise for you guys, because you already know I am gonna be snitching. Today, the 22nd, just before I go off, I got to be messy. Where your boy at? Did he have court today? Where's your boy? Until then, y'all know what I'm doing.
Guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany A. Hilliard, the People's Mayor. So, you guys doing a lot of snitching.
Let my snitching for you. I love a good jam. And I'm SINGLE again.